Places you should see in London. Attracting 27 million visitors every year, London is the most visited city in Europe. It's no surprise that London is top of so many people's travel plans. The city was founded by the Romans and has thrived over the centuries. Today, London is one of the most diverse cities in the world, with a rich history and some of the most outstanding culture on the planet. The City of London is the ancient centre of London, but is actually the smallest city in England. The London that we're familiar with covers a much wider metropolitan area and is home to almost 9 million people. Split into the vibrant and distinctive areas of North, West, South and East London, as well as the commercial and tourist hub of Central London, every district has its own recognizable neighborhoods. There is always something to see and do in London. With some of the world's best art, entertainment, shopping, dining, and history, it's impossible to be bored in London. Number 1. Hyde Park. Hyde Park is possibly the most famous park in London, and it is one of the largest. The park has historical significance, having hosted a number of demonstrations and protests, including protests by the suffragettes. The park's famous Speaker's Corner is still occupied by debates, protests, and performance artists every week. The park is home to several memorial features, as well as 2 bodies of water, the most famous being the Serpentine. Here you can go paddle boating, see a number of swans, and take in a breath of fresh air in the center of the city. A must-visit. Number 2. Westminster. Westminster is considered the political hub of London, and is home to the Houses of Parliament and the world-famous Big Ben. Big Ben is the name of the bell housed within the iconic clock tower, and it still chimes every hour. You can also find Westminster Abbey here, which is open to the public most days. Whilst visiting these landmarks, be sure to rest your feet in Parliament Square, which features statues of important political individuals including Nelson Mandela and Winston Churchill. Number 3. Camden. Camden is a well-known cultural neighborhood in North London. Known for its alternative culture, the crowds here are filled with goths, punks, rockabillys and tourists alike. Camden has a vibrant body mod community, and you will find a number of piercing and tattoo shops in this part of town. Camden Market is eclectic and diverse, featuring street food from international cuisines, and lots of stalls selling trinkets and unique artwork to take home. Rummage through vintage clothing racks, find a used book to take on your travels, or visit one of the city's best vegan bakeries at Cookies and Scream. After your shopping spree, stroll down to Camden Lock to relax by Regent's Canal, or walk along the water all the way to King's Cross. Number 4. London Eye. A trip to London isn't complete without a visit to the iconic London Eye. Originally constructed to celebrate the millennium, the Eye is a giant Ferris wheel offering gorgeous views across the city. At night, the wheel is lit up in seasonal colors, and is the centerpiece of London's annual New Year's fireworks display. You can share one of the spacious pods with other keen visitors, or splurge on a private pod for you and someone special. Team your visit to the Eye with a trip to the adjacent London Aquarium to see aquatic creatures from around the world, including jellyfish, seahorses, and crocodiles. Number 5. Soho. Soho has long been known as the base of London's sex industry. The area is now the most popular nightlife spot, although there are still some sex shops dotted here and there, giving Soho a delightfully risque vibe. Soho is often considered the center of the city's LGBTQ community, with plenty of gay and lesbian bars to check out after the sun goes down. In addition to bars and clubs, Soho has a number of theaters, jazz bars and restaurants to explore, making it a cultural hotspot. Its close proximity to Leicester Square means it's also a great place to go for a few drinks after a play or stage show. During the day, Soho loses none of its charm. Here you'll find lots of music shops, small cafes, and quaint bakeries. Stop for a coffee and pastry on Old Compton Street for perfect people watching. Number 6. Shoreditch. Shoreditch is one of the trendiest areas of London, having recently undergone extensive regeneration. It is now one of the hottest nightlife spots in the city, and one of the coolest places to stay in London. Packed full of bars and eateries, it's the perfect place to spend a day and an evening. Check out Trapeze, a circus-themed bar that serves endlessly inventive drinks out of popcorn tub-style cups. For pop culture lovers, there's Far Rockaway, a chilled bar and restaurant filled with comic books, band posters, and a regular 90s night. Or visit the Blues Kitchen for a blues night accompanied by sticky ribs and other American staples. Number 7. Hampstead Heath. Hampstead Heath is one of the largest parks in London, covering a massive 790 acres. It sits atop of one of the highest points in London, offering excellent views of the city from Parliament Hill. The Heath features grassy fields, wooded areas, and a number of large ponds. It is the best place to experience nature in London, with plenty of wildlife around and small woods in which to get lost. There are swimming lidos for those feeling brave enough to swim outdoors in the great British weather. For history buffs, visit Kenwood House, a historical stately home that is known for its curated art collection. Number 8. The British Film Institute. The BFI, or British Film Institute, is a must-see for film lovers. The BFI is situated on the ever-popular South Bank, and is the perfect spot to relax after a stroll along the waterfront, taking in the culture and atmosphere of this vibrant part of the city. The BFI show films every day, from mainstream blockbusters to reshowings of cult classics to one-off screenings of indie hits. There is also a library and shop for those who like to take their cinema seriously. The BFI also houses its own bar and riverfront restaurant for a delicious meal, or to chat about the latest film releases over some drinks. Number 9. Thames Cruise. The Thames is the lifeblood of London, bringing industry to the city for centuries. It is England's longest river, leading into the North Sea at its end. It has been the base for settlements since prehistoric times, and was of strategic importance to the Romans and English kings, as well as during both World Wars. There are a number of companies in London offering cruises across the Thames. Cruises run as regularly as every 30 minutes from several key locations. The cruises pass several key sightseeing locations, including Tower Bridge, the Houses of Parliament, and the London Eye. Some cruises run at night so you can see the sights all lit up, whilst others are served with a meal or afternoon tea. This is a lovely and unique way to view the city, traveling along the historic Thames. Number 10. Baker Street. One of the cultural staples of London is Baker Street, best known as the street that Arthur Conan Doyle's infamous detective Sherlock Holmes lived on. Today you can find a Sherlock Holmes museum near the Underground station, especially popular after the BBC revival Sherlock. Madame Tussauds is just around the corner, the internationally famous wax museum, where you can pose with your favorite celebrities. Afterwards, escape the crowds of Baker Street in the nearby Regent's Park, or by climbing Primrose Hill for London's most spectacular view of the city. Number 11. Brixton Academy. For those on a hunt for live music, London has thousands of unique venues to offer. Venues span every niche, or you can just go to an open night at a local pub and see some up-and-coming musicians. One of the best venues in town, though, is Brixton Academy in South London. The Academy was originally a theatre and cinema called the Astoria, opened in 1929. 50 years later, the venue became the Academy, and now hosts some of the biggest rock and pop acts in the world. Some acts that have played at Brixton Academy include The Clash, Sex Pistols, New Order, and Madonna. The Smiths played their final ever performance at Brixton Academy. This is the go-to music venue if you want to catch some live music in London. Number 12. The O2. The O2 Arena was originally constructed in celebration of the Millennium, under the name of the Millennium Dome. It once acted as exhibition center with various exhibits and hands-on activities aimed primarily at children. Today, it is a premier destination for live music and stage shows, hosting the biggest names in entertainment on a regular basis. It also houses a cinema, as well as various bars and restaurants featuring cuisines from all over the world. The O2 is an ideal spot to hang out with friends. If you're seeking some adventure, try climbing to the top of the O2. On these guided walks, you can climb along the dome to the roof, where you will witness beautiful views of the city. Afterwards, take the Emirates airline across the water. The airline is a cable car link offering an exciting and unique view of the city. Number 13. Brick Lane. Brick Lane was made famous by the book and film adaptation of the same title. As the book's narrative made clear, Brick Lane is the heart of London's Bangladeshi community. An incredibly diverse neighborhood, Brick Lane features road signs in both English and Bengali and is well known for its abundance of curry houses. This is the perfect spot to find something spicy to eat, but be sure to go to one of the many sweet shops for some authentic South Asian desserts. The area also features a number of trendy bars as well as regular marketplaces, attracting a young and fashionable crowd. For an art fix, head around the corner to find Whitechapel Gallery, or hunt down the many pieces of street art on Brick Lane and its neighboring streets. Number 14. Chinatown. London's Chinatown can be found around Gerrard Street, sandwiched between Soho and Leicester Square. With its Chinese lanterns and eye-catching red arches, it's difficult to miss this vibrant neighborhood. Filled with authentic Asian restaurants as well as supermarkets and secret bars, there is always something new to explore in Chinatown. For a slice of genuine Asian cuisine, try the HK Diner for delicious roast duck, good service, and big portions. They also serve bubble tea, an Asian trend that has recently swept across the city. Number 15. Electric Avenue. Electric Avenue is a street in Brixton, South London, famous because it was the first market street in London to be lit by electricity. It spawned the #1 song by Eddie Grant, and has been the center of some parts of London history, including the Brixton Race riots in 1981. Today, Electric Avenue is home to Brixton Market, a diverse and eclectic food market. Afterwards, check out the rest of the neighborhood. Brixton features a multitude of small businesses selling unique, quirky, and handmade items. This is one of the most diverse areas of London, and an excellent spot to do some shopping or catch some live music. Number 16. Piccadilly Circus. Piccadilly Circus is instantly recognizable, a square filled with bright lights and big electronic screens. Piccadilly Circus has been a busy London spot since the 17th century, when it was a commercial hub. Today it is still the heart of the West End, with easy access from Piccadilly Circus to some of London's biggest theatres and nightclubs, including the Criterion Theatre. The statue of Eros in the center of the circus is itself a popular meeting point and tourist destination. Pay a visit to Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum at Piccadilly Circus to learn some new facts and see the world's weirdest things. The Trocadero houses a games arcade and some niche shops to satisfy any pop culture cravings. Number 17. Oxford Street. Oxford Street is not only London's top spot for shopping, but is Europe's busiest shopping street. It has 300 shops and receives over 500,000 visitors every day. Shop till you drop in designer stores and internationally famous department stores like Debenhams and House of Fraser. Selfridges features intricate and beautiful window displays that change with the seasons. These frequently feature interactive windows and work by acclaimed artists. Around Christmas, the Oxford Street Christmas lights illuminate your shopping sprees and add some glitter to the evenings.